All right, it is snowing. A snowstorm has hit Flagstaff. We still got to run in this. Maybe I don't. I could probably sack it off and go, yeah, maybe not today. But I'm in a house with 3 elite runners and they need to run. So I'm gonna take you along, show you where they go, what they do, and the chaos that happens when it snows a lot in Flagstaff. But before we leave, I need to get dressed. And it's -6 out there and it's windy, so it probably feels like, I don't know, -10, -12. So I'm layering up. I've got 2 tights on. I've got a thick top, a thin top, and then I'll probably wear a jacket on top of that. I'll have a hat, 2 sets of gloves, 2 pairs of socks on, my big trail shoes, which they're not waterproof, but they're water resistant, I think. So I'm hoping that that's enough, but we're not sure. I get quite cold, and I also sweat a lot. So like layering up and then running in the cold is so counterintuitive because I don't run very fast. The sweat just makes me really cold. So yeah, we'll just have to cross our fingers and see. It's not letting off. It's snowing real hard.
Connor, how many miles are you running today?
14 to 16, probably 16.
Nice. Billy, how many are you running?
13.
Oh yeah, thanks for asking, guys. I'm running.
What are you doing, Dave?
Thanks, Connor. I am running for 75 minutes.
Let's go.
Woo!
So probably 7 miles, about that. Well, we'll see actually. All right, so we have come down to somewhere called Buffalo Range, right?
Buffalo Range for the Buffalo Bills.
Go Bills!
Go Bills!
As you can see, there's a lot less snow here. We've come down 1,000 feet. So that's better running conditions. It's not perfect, it's still bloody cold, but that's the reason why we've driven down here. It's about half an hour down the road, and yeah,
I know, and then
at least we can run rather than going through like a foot of snow.
What's up, YouTube?
Oh my god. I don't know if you can hear me, but oh, it's horrible. I think I've done everything well, apart from I need a balaclava. It's so cold. I'm just gonna go see how long I can last, basically, because it's cold and it's wet, and we'll see. But yeah, much less snow here. At least we're not running in a foot of snow. Yeah, I started off a little bit quick, but I'm just trying to warm up, basically. My legs are just cold. Maybe run a bit fast and then warm up. I might even pick up the pace a little bit later, just because, yeah, I think I'm gonna freeze. This place, there's nothing here. Right, we're a mile and a half in. Feeling good, to be fair. Heart rate's really good. So I've kind of picked up the pace a little bit just to try keep warm. But I feel good. We are down, as I said, we're down 1,000 feet, so it's not gonna hurt as bad as running up in Flagstaff. Just past 2 miles, and my feet have just warmed up. There's literally nothing here. I can't see anything for miles. It's insane. All right, just turn around. What's great, I feel fantastic firstly. What's great is on the way back is I'm not going into the wind. So my face, well, you might be able to hear, feels a bit numb right now. I'm hoping it will warm up, but I'm warm, which is good. I feel like the sun is doing something even though it's not coming through the clouds. Feel good, we turned on 3.75 miles. So I'm meant to be 75 minutes today, but we'll see, I might push it to 80 because that's what Philly thought she'd set me, but she hadn't. So I've done 80 before, so it's not like I'm doing anything silly. But yeah, it's something like 9-10 weeks out from the half marathon, and as to be expected, you know, we have to concentrate on Philly's career sometimes. That is the priority at the moment, especially in the latter stages of the marathon block. So yeah, I'm hoping that when the marathon is done, then we can switch the focus a little bit more while Philly's kind of coming back, base building for track season, and maybe she can come out on a couple of my runs. But yeah, it is what it is. It's the life of living with a pro athlete. You have to sacrifice some things. So yeah, but no, I feel good, and I've got over the cold, and I fucking love snow, so this is perfect. Right, 5 miles in, we're going back up that hill, a really steady downhill that we came down earlier in the run. It's brutal. It's, you know, having a hill that's like, I don't know, a half mile, and it's quite steep, you get over it, you're good. This is like 2 miles of just steady uphill, which was really nice on the downhill. I'm just glad that there's no wind in this direction, because then it would be even more miserable. I picked up that last mile, but half of it was downhill, so I wanted to kind of keep between 9 and 10 minute miling, kind of pick up for the last half of the run, but this hill is kicking my butt, so just gonna keep it as steady as I can, and yeah, try to conquer the hill. All right, just about to hit 6 miles, and we've just got to the top of the hill. Pretty proud of myself, because I think I'm pretty sure I kept, yeah, there you go, 10:22 mile. So I kept the pace up as much as I could for that mile, but I can see civilization, I can see a road now. But because I think I've run the second half faster, I'm gonna have to add on a bit at the end. I think I'm gonna get to the car park early, so yeah, I think it's another mini hill, and then it's all the way down to the car park, and then I'll probably come back on myself. I've just realised why I didn't really notice the downhills on the way out. It's incredible, you just turn your back, you turn around, and the wind and the cold, it just doesn't feel like you're gaining a benefit from going downhill. Whereas going uphill, obviously it's hard because it's uphill, but there's no wind. It almost feels mild. It's just bizarre. But yeah, all right, we've got another 3.5 minutes to go. Get back to the car park and then die a slow death. We did it, 80 minutes, 7.75 miles, not bad. Oh, damn, I'm back in the car. I'm cold. I just literally changed out my t-shirt because my tops were like ridiculously wet, and I'm like, I'm probably gonna get colder in wet t-shirt and long sleeve, whereas I could just change into a t-shirt, put on my jumper, put on my jacket, and I'll probably be warmer because I'll probably not freeze to death. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna just quickly jump out the car and do some stretches and stuff so I'm not too achy. I'm sitting in the car for half an hour, so. How you doing?
I'm alive.
You're alive.
Yeah, that's progress.
Alright, everyone seemed to survive the run. Although it's not really a snowstorm down here, it was pretty snowy on the way out. But we've now got to find out, we've got to survive the drive home, because although it might not be snowy here and it's melting, it's meant to be snowing all day up in Flagstaff. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how snowy the roads are on the way back up. Alright, touch wood, but we are 2 minutes away and we've survived. We only had one tiny scare, didn't we, Connor? The snow is definitely like stopped the main kind of, it's just like flurrying at the moment, but we've had probably about...
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus. We nearly just got T-boned by a...
We made it!
Oh my God. Maybe I shouldn't have talked too soon. But yeah, we've had about, how many inches? 6 inches. 6 inches or so. So... yeah, it hasn't actually snowed that much more than when we left. It's not too bad. It was meant to be snowing until like 6 this evening. It's probably going to stop by 2, which is good, because this is a perfect amount of snow. We don't need any more. All right, hand is going in. All right, it's literally like my whole hand up to about my thumb. Oh. You got the camera, you know.
Face shot. These were the footsteps on the way out, and these are the footsteps now. So I feel like
Another like 2-3 inches.
I feel like that's more than 5 inches.
But I mean, like, well, yeah, total is more than 5 inches. But I mean, like,
an extra 5 inches. Right, I'm gonna be deceased for a bit, and then what I'm gonna do is, on my last video, I asked what people wanted to see, and a lot of people came up with some really amazing suggestions, but the subject matter is just not worth making one whole video about. So I'm gonna, at some point at the end of the video, near the end of the video, I'm going to answer a few of those questions, a few of those queries that people wanted to see on the camp, and I'll see how many I can get through. But I'm just going to be a bit of a slug for the next couple of hours, so good night. I mean, I was completely right. We have basically been vegetables for the day. I say we. I've been a vegetable. Philly's been doing work. And now we're going for a little family dinner with a couple of the people that we've become friends with out here. Which means tomorrow I will answer some of those fantastic questions that you guys asked on my last video. All right, it's the next day. And I can report there is still snow. We did survive the snowstorm, although, obviously I didn't film it. We had a few sketchy moments in the car. A couple of times with Connor and a couple of times with Philly, when Philly went out. And yeah, that was a little bit scary, but some good driving overall. But I'll show you. It is definitely still very snowy out there. So, because we can't really go out anywhere, and there's not much point, Philly's trying to kind of relax the last couple of days. I've changed outfit. Yeah, I got interrupted by a lovely friend of mine who was giving me some advice, so I had to take that call, but I had a shower instead, and I'm back to it. As I was saying, we're having some reasonably relaxing days before we fly to Houston. So, as I said earlier in the video, it's a good time to maybe go through some of those queries that came up in the comments 2 videos ago about this camp. Before I go into the first one, I'm going to give you a clue. So if you didn't guess from that silly little interlude of the Nerf gun, I'm talking about targets. I set a load of targets in my last video, both running, business, YouTube, all those kind of things. But I wanted to kind of give a few tips on how I set goals, especially as a non-elite. Someone who hasn't got aspirations of going to the Olympics or Europeans or Worlds or running a world record time. I guess my tip 1 is find something that will motivate you. If you are picking something that you're like, oh, I don't really want to do this, but I see other people doing it, so I might as well, I feel like I have to, then especially in the running world, you're not going to train as well for it. You're not going to be as motivated to get out the door. So find something that motivates you, whether it's a road race, whether it's a trail race, whether it's an ultra, or whether it's literally a local 800-meter sprint around a track. It doesn't matter. It just needs to motivate you. And then my second tip, imagine we have a scale here about your comfort zone. And on this side, you're really, really comfortable, and on this side, you're like past your comfort zone, something that you would never do. Find where that goal is for you. And then I would always suggest pushing it 1 point towards being more uncomfortable. Because as humans, we tend to try to take the easier route, right? I feel a much larger sense of satisfaction and accomplishment when I push myself out of my comfort zone. I think it's a little bit more exciting, no? And as I sit here doing some work, I think this is a good time to talk about another one of these queries that came up in the comments section of my last video. So I got a request about how I work on these trips, how I juggle all of my kind of client work. Luckily, I'm in a very unique position where I can pretty much take my job anywhere in the world. All I need is a laptop and some semi-decent Wi-Fi. Interestingly, 2 of my clients are from the US. So Kofuzi, obviously, and Relay Podcast, they're all in the US. So it's actually been slightly easier to do my work here because we're all on the same time zone. Also, this trip particularly has been reasonably quiet with client work purely because it's been over the Christmas period. People are taking time off and therefore content isn't being created. So I've actually been able to, although we don't really take days off, I've been able to relax a little bit more and have evenings off and go out and do some fun things with Philly and just kind of relax a little bit more. But circling back to the question on hand, I basically just take my laptop. Recently just bought a new one. My old laptop could not handle the new 4K files, which has been a godsend. So it's much, much easier to work. And for any of you guys who want to know kind of what my setup is, I literally just use a MacBook Pro M3 Max, and I live off these little crazy hard drives, these SSD drives, which although are ridiculously expensive, I never have to worry about the drive kind of corrupting. I can throw it around and they've served me well. Me and Philly use those and have used those for a while. So that's a very basic setup. Something that I am considering, and I have seen a couple of things out there, which I'm very interested in trying and maybe buying one to see if it works, is the thing that I miss the most about working from home is a monitor. Be able to see my files as well as what I'm editing is very, very useful. I'm thinking of investing in like a small 13-inch side travel screen. If anyone has any suggestions, put it in the comments below. I have seen a couple out there that I'm looking at, but we'll just see. Got myself a little snack. They know how to do granola out here. Granola's good in general, but American granola is just good. Probably full of sugar, but it's good. Cool, so someone else asked, I'll put it down here, how do we plan these trips? And I won't lie, I'm not the best one to talk about this. Philly's probably better, and I think it would be actually good, and I'll push her to do this, to make maybe a short video on how she does it. However, from my point of view, it's really interesting. It's like, if you know, you know. If you're part of like the inner elite circle or sub-elite circle of running athletes, you just know where these places are. And you know people who go there often. And basically what you do is you just message people, find out where the best place is to stay. Flagstaff is where New Balance Boston come to do their altitude training. So there's a little like New Balance hook up here as well. Philly's agent lives here. Philly's got some friends who come out here regularly. So the way that we plan these trips is basically just word of mouth. It's a little bit biased towards the pro athletes because altitude training, although would be a really fantastic experience for the kind of everyday jogger, it's mainly used by the elites. So it is pretty elitist, I'm not gonna lie. But maybe there's a gap in the market for that, to kind of create packages for people who want to go out and get the benefit of running at altitude. Because you have to be up here for 3 weeks. Otherwise you don't get any benefit. So it has to be 3 to 6 weeks to kind of really gain the benefit, and then it kind of plateaus after 6 weeks. You're better off just doing warm weather training, from what I've heard. Again, I'm not a professional, I'm not a pro. It's just what I've heard on the grapevine. If you want to go on like a kind of running holiday, you might as well just go to warm weather if you've got just a week. But if you're willing to go for a month and really just see if it gives you a benefit or you react well to it, by all means. But it's tough. It's really tough up here. I'm only just getting used to the altitude and it's been over 3 weeks. And finally, someone's asked us, kind of a question for both me and Philly, but they've asked us, are we going to be creating training programs in 2024? Now, if there was any of you guys that are very eagle-eyed and have been watching all my content, I did mention that we were planning on getting off-the-shelf plans out by the end of 2023, and we didn't. So I apologize for that. But it is on our list. We have the groundwork for it. Philly just needs to go in and flesh everything out and make everything nice, and then we need to send it off to our designer who will make it look all pretty so that you're getting a really nice product that's worth what we would like to charge for it. So it is coming, we promise, but I'm gonna try keep my mouth closed on dates because I feel like I over promise and under deliver sometimes on our exciting things. So gonna be very vague with when we think it will come out, but hopefully sometime next year. It's 2024. Okay, so sometime this year. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'm glad that I managed to survive a snowstorm. I had another comment of someone saying that my next video would be me being very overdramatic, and I feel like I've done exactly what they wanted. We survived this traumatic snowstorm. No, I'm joking. This wasn't traumatic whatsoever. I mean, I survived, but Philly, she's had to run on a treadmill, so. Anyway, I'll see you next time.